tends to be very, I don't want to use the word controversial, but he looks at both sides of the coin. He calls a spade a spade. He is excellent. He is very good.
Steve McKinney.
All right, let's go.
Off the chair. I feel Mr. McKinney is excellent, is professional in his field, and he takes care of all issues.
I listen to hard copy, but like to hear various viewpoints, and it helps.
Okay. Hard copy is my show. Steve McKinney is my man.
Well, it is 13 behind the hour, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's Thursday in the Bahamas. And of course, today we're talking with the people over from the COI. And they're here at the house today because they've got a lot to say. One wants to be in charge of the area called Fort Charlotte. That's my area. And the other wants to be in charge of another area who is over at Englerston. That's another wonderful area that a lot of people are needing good representation in. And so we're looking forward to seeing how well the COI will perform this time around in the upcoming elections, which is now scheduled for 2026. That's what they say. It may happen just before then. We don't know. But we do have the people on the show today. And of course, we're going to introduce them just momentarily as we talk here today on Hard Copy Live. It is 5 o'clock. Hard Copy is a presentation of the Mckinney Media Group. Copyrights 2024. All rights are reserved. The views, statements, and opinions of guests expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of the host, sponsors, or operators of this radio station. No part of this program may be copied or reproduced in full or in part without the express written consent of the producers. That is, of course, the Mckinney Media Group. This is Hard Copy on the Mckinney Broadcasting Radio Network. And Hard Copy seeks to lay out the facts in simple fashion for the inclusion of all the Haymans and Bahamians at heart. The focus every day to move forthright in our manner to build a progressive and developing country. And our desire is for a Bahamas with a competent, skillful, and productive workforce. We want a country that can feed and sustain itself. We want a country with a brilliant, visionary action plan that's ready to embrace the future of hope and prosperity. We encourage like-minded Bahamians just like you to participate with intelligent and honest contributions. After all, my friends, we have a country to build. We've got jobs and industry to create, a people to inspire and empower, and generations of born and unborn Bahamians. We, the people, must protect and plan for. And if not you, then who? If not now, then when? On Hard Copy today, Daphney Ingrid Johnson, who hopes to represent the people of Fort Charlotte in the upcoming general elections. And of course, also with us, Faith M. Percentie. She wants to represent the people over in Englerston. They are both from the COI and wish to bring what they call real representation to the people in those constituencies. The COI is today, right now, live on Hard Copy, and they are posing as the new candidates for the COI. You know, they've named some 19 of them already. They have jumped the gun on this particular occasion because they're the first one out the gate with naming of 19 candidates so far. And the two that I mentioned just now are part of this particular grouping. So today we want to welcome them both here to the show. How you all are doing? You go first.
Hi, Steve. Nice to have you. Nice to be here.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice to finally meet you.
Yes.
I have been listening to you for over...
Don't say how long.
I won't. A long time.
Understood.
So it's really, really nice to be on your platform this
Absolutely.
afternoon.
My pleasure to have you all.
Yes.
And of course, Ms. Percentie, I've heard so much about you. I've heard that, she's a good candidate. That's what they told me a long time ago. And here I am meeting you right now for the first time. And I met the other lady last week from Freetown. She was very, very good at what she did. And I'm sure that you all are going to be just as good or even better because you have areas that you need to have real representation in. A lot of people, even in Fort Charlotte. Now, this is considered to be an area that they want to say is upscale, but it's not really upscale. We have our own set of problems in this particular vicinity. And of course, Alfred Sayers is now the MP for this area at this time. Gladys Hanna is Gladys Hanna Martin is the area MP for Englerston, as we all know. And they are two heavy hitters as far as the other parties are concerned. But we believe that you can tackle them. At least you can make this a spirited and very, very successful campaign if you are up to it. Now, I want to find out from you all just how you plan to do what you plan to do in the areas, because the people need help. They need help as far as the food store situations are concerned, the social aspects are concerned, the crime is concerned. This is in both areas. So it is like nothing for you to sit down here and talk to me today about what are the things that you plan to bring to the area to make it a little different than what has always been, for the most part, in those particular areas. Fort Charlotte, of course, has grown to an area whereas now it is not as good as it should be, and it never was this way. It's always a fantastic area, but for some reason, somehow we have fallen off it a little bit in this particular area. So I'm saying today that you need to tell me how you're going to convince these people that now time for a change. You bring the right representation to the area. You're both youthful and young and strong, I may add. And you want to make sure that you're going to do the right things. Can we start out with you, Fort Charlotte?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, Steve, this isn't my first rodeo in
good.
Fort Charlotte. I
Understood.
actually ran in this area during the last general election.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes. And, during my time on the ground canvassing Fort Charlotte, I found that even though you said that people like to believe that Fort Charlotte is an upscale area, really and truly we have persons within this constituency that struggle.
I know. I'm aware of it. That's why I'm saying that.
We do. We have people that are in need in this area. In this day and time, people are living in this constituency who can't even afford to put food
Is that right?
on the table for their children, much less in the cupboards. Having food in the cupboards in this day and time, in this constituency and the Bahamas at large, is a luxury.
I can believe that.
Because inflation is real. The cost of living is really, really high in this country, and this present administration is not doing anything to ease the burden of the people.
Okay.
It's a lot, Steve. We are not the government. COI is not the government. But every day I get calls. I'm sure Ms. Percentie get calls, and other candidates, our leader, chairman, we all get calls from people needing help. Okay, so it really, really, really is depressing to canvass these areas, listen to the cries of the people,
I can imagine,
and not being financially in the position to really help these people. Homelessness is a big thing in this area. Yeah. Homelessness. There are a lot of people in this community right now, in this constituency right now, that are homeless. I know of a lot.
Many of them are living on the beach.
They're living on the beach.
I know what you're talking about.
There is not one single shelter in this constituency for the people that may fall on hard times. and need some assistance with getting back up. So, COI, once we get in there, and we're going to get in there, we are prepared to govern from day one. My message, my message is empowerment. I am here, Steve, to empower the people. That is the main reason I offered myself to run.
Understood.
In this next general election.
Let me ask you this question though, but when you ran the first time, that was the last election.
Yes.
2021. A lot of people, they were able to get to know who you really were. You went door to door. You did some movements, and you got kind of good response.
I did.
So you were encouraged to now come back this time around, and you aligned yourself with the COI, and you believe that you are in fact ready now, ready to take on the day. And what are some of the things that people have been saying to you since the last time you ran, and now that you've been going back to them? What are they saying to you right now?
Well, I could tell you right now, the people are disgruntled with this present administration.
Okay.
They are disgruntled. A lot of people are telling
When you say disgruntled, you mean that they have difficulties in how they are dealing with the business, how they are managing the country? What are you talking about with
that? Those 2 points are part of the problem.
Okay.
But people, again, in certain areas of this constituency are struggling.
Okay.
A lot of people told me that, Ms. Johnson, I campaigned for the present MP in this area. And today, up to today, they've been in power, what now, 3 years?
Yes, it is.
Some persons haven't heard from their MP in this constituency in over 3 years.
And that is not good, eh?
They have not heard from them.
Why do you think they've not heard from them? What have they been saying to you? Because, I mean, I understand what you're saying, because I in Fort Charlotte, I live in Fort Charlotte all my life. And I'm in Fort Charlotte.
Right.
And I can tell you that, no, we don't see the member of parliament the way that we should.
Right.
And I believe that because I am a man of influence in an area like this, every now and then they should pop in and say, hey, how you doing? Hello.
Yeah.
Because, you want to utilize the people with influence to make sure that you are doing okay. But I don't really see him like that. I cannot lie about him and say I just see him. I don't see him. Yeah. I believe that he wants to do better, and I believe that he should be doing better. But the truth of the matter is that if you can't see him, what do you do? And when people look at this whole matter and say, but we can't see him, we don't see the MP, we don't see this, and we don't see that, they're going to size you up and they're going to spit you out.
Exactly.
That is how the thing works.
Yeah. And, another thing that they're saying on the ground is the fact that the MP looks out for a select few in this community. We need to move away from that. This Bahamas belongs to all of us.
Very true.
All of us. You can't just empower one set of people while the other set of people right in your constituency suffers. Come on, those people gave you the job to represent them. And now you're not answering your phone? Yeah. Hello? We need real representation in this community. And I believe, they're comfortable. In other words, they feel like they got this. The people ain't going nowhere.
You think that's what's happening?
That's how they feel.
They really feel that way?
Yeah.
My goodness.
I got this.
So how can they have it and they're not seeing the people? I mean, Fred Mitchell, who's their chairman of the party, has been saying to them all along that from the day he got inside there in power, he said to them, listen, you got to see your people, you got to visit your people, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I believe the others in his grouping, they hear what he's saying, but they're not doing what he's saying. And as a result of that, you are coming telling me today, right now, that people are saying that they can't see the MP. No. Now, that's a bad report, simply because that's a reflection on him, because he can do better. He has the means to do better.
Exactly.
And he can do better. But what about you? Forget about him. He's now running, and I suppose he will run this time around, and maybe he'll. Some people are saying that they won't vote for him, but the point is that you got to concentrate on you.
Exactly.
What do you bring to the table now, and what is it that you want to really emphasize that for people to understand that you can showcase any problems that they have, that the present government has. You can showcase all those problems. That's not going to get you anywhere.
Right.
What are the things that you are looking at bringing into the fold of the people of Fort Charlotte? And this is a prime opportunity for you to say these things now, because it's 3 years out or 2 years out, and people want to know who this lady is by the name of Daphney Ingrid Lightburn. What does
Johnson.
Johnson, sorry. So, that's another name in my head. But they want to know who she is and what will she bring to the table that will tickle their fancy to the point where they want to support her wholeheartedly.
Exactly. So, yes, my name is Daphney Ingrid Johnson, and I grew up, believe it or not, in Black Village, not too far from here. So, yes, I grew up in a setting like Fort Charlotte, in the poorer parts. So I know all too well of the struggle that the people go through. I have worked in the tourism industry for the last 28 years.
Okay.
Yeah. I am a mother of two, grandmother of two, and now I'm an entrepreneur.
Very good.
I do my own thing. And my message, like I said, Steve, again, is empowerment. I'm here to do what I need to do to empower the people. The mindset of Bahamians in general needs to change.
Okay.
It needs to change. Once we
the mindset of the people.
The mindset of the people of the Bahamas needs to change. The entire Bahamas needs to change.
Okay.
We need to stop settling for crumbs thrown from the master's table.
Understood.
How much more crumbs can we eat? Okay, so I want to empower the people of Fort Charlotte. I want to build a center where they can come, the people can come and learn new skills to empower themselves. I want to assist people with feeding themselves. That's another thing too. Food security.
Yeah, the food thing is a big thing in this town now.
Yeah.
Because everybody's talking about how they want to do more to feed the people. Because apparently our people are just under this poverty line to the point where we're like somewhere about 43% on the poverty line.
You're right there.
And people don't understand what that means. That means that people need to eat.
People need to eat.
People, I understand, needs to eat. We're going to get to you in a minute. They know that people need to eat. People need to have something to eat every day.
Every single day.
And it's all the time that they have to eat. So this is not like you just walking through the park and you can just stroll and swing your hands and say everything is good, everything's good. No, sir.
No, it's not.
People now need to have something to eat. They need somewhere to live. They need shelter in their homes.
Yeah.
And these are real commitments that all members of Parliament should look at and say, we've got to really
do something for
these people.
Yes.
This is not a regular time,
No.
This is an unfamiliar time for the Bahamian people,
Yeah.
We've never been this low before, And as a result of that, people are now saying, boy, if only I could just, I'll just sell for a little corned beef and white rice. That's how people have just reorganized their whole lives because things are tough.
Yep.
Money's aren't going up. Things are very, very tough. You'll find that in the area in Englerston where you live as well. Things are very, very tough. Nobody wants to make a commitment to do anything better.
Right.
And you've got to see how best you can rescue the people.
Right.
You are the rescue team, You are the rescue team. You got to rescue the people.
Yep.
All right?
We have to.
Now, I want to also involve in this conversation to Miss Faith Percentie, because she has an area just like yours, even though people are saying, no, wait, Fort Charlotte better than that area. Well, okay, I understand that. But I'm saying the inundation of the Haitian national in that particular area is phenomenal in Englerston. Okay, it's the first thing. I don't know how you're going to get that area sorted out, because I go through there all the time now. So I got a friend who travels in that way, and buy some lunch in the area in that area. And my whole thing is that I'm amazed at the amount of shanty towns or shanty-looking towns in that vicinity. Now these are supposed to be good houses and all that kind of stuff. You got hell in your hands in trying to clean that up or trying to regularize that area. But it seems as if the members of parliament, and I did say members of parliament over the years, in the last 10 years, there's only been one member of parliament, which is Glennis Hannah Martin. That area is just an area that is there. Okay? It is really not a Bahamian area. I can tell you that now. I've been through there, up and down, up and down. I'm looking to see where the houses, what's going to happen. You've got a lot to deal with in that particular area, and a lot of it now comes to the point where you're going to have to do some cleaning up in that area. And not only that, I don't mean to scare anybody, but you're going to have to be able to bring some value to that area again. That area, in case you don't know, was built up by all the Ragged Island and Atkins Island people and Meguanan people in that area. All them big shops and stuff that you see in that area, they were built with the monies from the contract. Years ago. I'm showing you something. Once upon a time, that's where everybody went. Can we get that back to that area again? Or do you think we've lost it for good? What's going to happen in that particular area that you're now working on? Maria. I got your attention just now. Go ahead.
First of all, blessings and favor to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and of course to the people of Englerston. Hell is not in my hand, it's under my feet.
I got you.
Definitely. Yes, Englerston can retain her glory back. She can retain
wonderful. I'm happy to hear that.
Most certainly. As I canvass the community, and of course I had an opportunity beginning from last general election to really canvass the community from a political standpoint, but I've always been in the community from ministry standpoint.
Okay.
And so I have an understanding of what. Yes, we have a lot of sections that are predominantly built like a shanty town, but when I canvass those areas, yes, we have some illegal immigrants that are living in there, but we also have a lot of Bahamians that are living in those what we call shanty towns. And yes,
right?
Poverty line is low. Persons can't afford $1,000 apartment. So because they cannot afford an $1,000 apartment, for most persons now in Englerston, and I'm talking about those who are Bahamian citizens, they find themselves living in those particular situations where they have to rent, the $50.
So don't believe everything you see.
Not everything is structured the way that we see it. We have to look into it and find out what is the details and what really is taking place. So yes, we do have a heightened of illegal immigrants in that area, but there are a lot of our Bahamian brothers and sisters that have found themselves in those type of predicaments. And of course, during the last hurricane that we had, we had a lot of family that came into Nassau, and so a lot of them have found themselves, and I'm talking for Englerston, have found themselves in those situations. And so of course, for me, it hurts my heart to see that the government really have not reached out to address this matter. And can I tell you, the fact is we say to people, well, you don't have to depend on the government, you have to do it yourself. But you must understand that You have to give persons opportunity so that they can build themselves to be able to empower themselves, so that they can live better.
Yes.
Of course, you talked about the poverty line. It's low. Persons can't find a job, and those who find a job, it's paying minimum wage. Minimum wage cannot sustain a family.
I understand, yeah.
And in most circumstances, it's a single parent home. Maybe the mama is there with her kids, and her little salary can't do it. So she now is either living with someone, and that's a lot. We find a lot of that in the Englerston constituency. You're either living with the families, or you're ending up in one of those, as you call them, shanty town situations.
So you're looking at bringing positive change to the community.
Most certainly.
How much are you looking forward to bringing positive change to the community? Because the other lady who was here with me today, of course, I'm talking to Mrs. Johnson. She's saying that the people need a mind change. The mindset has to be different. And you want to bring about a positive community change in that particular area of Englerston. And I'm wondering how is that going to be possible at all, considering that you're dealing with an area that's been around for so long, and the people have their own ways and that kind of stuff. And I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm just saying to you, I just want to challenge you to say that you have a task on your hand. That's what I'm saying.
I don't look at it as a task.
Help me.
I look at it as an assignment.
Okay.
And most certainly, any assignment that is given, I stay focused to what the assignment is to complete it.
And you think you can get it done?
I most certainly believe and know that I can get it done, because I'm following instructions. Now that's another story, right? but in terms of the mindset of the people, yes, we have to address people where they're at. And of course, a lot of persons, their mindset is just in a place of just trying to survive. Their day-to-day routine is about surviving, and in surviving, they do whatever they have to do to survive. How do we change the mindset of people? Listen, you literally have to put different programs and opportunities in place. When a person can see that they have an opportunity to better themselves, they now see themselves in a different light. If I don't see an opportunity for me to get out of the situation that I am in, then I will continue to see myself in a downtrodden situation. I will continue to see myself in a depressed place. So we want to help the people's mindset to change.
Understood.
Of course, with prayer, most certainly have to throw that in there. But if we want to see the people's mindset change, then we have to put certain opportunities and programs in place where persons can literally believe that there is better for them.
You're a former welfare trainee officer with the Department of Social Services. That gives you a good lead to go into an area like that, a depressed area like that, to really show exactly what it is that you bring. You're like Mama. Mama reached now. Mama got the answers to what's going to happen here. So, what are your thoughts along those lines? And since you are like considered the Mama of the COI, to bring the kind of, I don't want to make you sound old.
Oh no,
not at all. I want you to play the role here. You're the Mama of the COI, ready to bring the kind of discipline and the kind of contributions to an area like Englerston. And they badly need this. They need a big sister, big mama kind of person to help them along the lines. That's what you actually need.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, to be honest with you, during the time that I was in social services, I was in the urban renewal unit, and Englerston and Fort Charlotte were my areas.
Right.
They were the areas that, and so that's why I said I know I don't just know the community from canvassing, but I know the community from being out there and understanding what were the social issues that they were facing at that time and still facing now. And so, of course, when you speak about being a mama, I take that on with pride, because a true mother is one that nurtures and that cares and that empowers and wants to see the best for those who she's nurturing and caring for. And so most certainly and she's going to try and do or put in place whatever she can to ensure, and if I can use the word children, to make sure that her children are on the right path. And that is so important for me with Englerston. The Englerston community is a long-standing community. I normally tell persons that Englerston sits in the middle of every other constituency. So we are the beacon. Therefore, we must reclaim back our stands. And Englerston is one of the oldest communities. And so most certainly the state that Englerston is in my opinion, Englerston doesn't have to be in that state. But there was no mothering taking place. And so because there was no
You're
mothering
heavy,
taking place.
You're all right, You got it. There's no mothering taking place.
We find ourselves in this position.
My Lord.
We find ourselves in this position. But definitely, we can arise out of the slump.
How many areas you believe is under the same situation now, where the motherly love, the kind of nurturing that is needed in those areas, are not being done? Is that the landscape of what we're talking about here today, for the most part? Because the young lady from over in Freetown, she is telling me the same thing. I mean, she talked about the fact that she wanted to help with the people who needed the help from medical point of view, the people who needed housing, that kind of thing. I'm saying that a lot of these areas have been straight up depressed and neglected.
Yes.
But how did that happen? I mean, did we just move
Comfortability.
out? You just move out of the areas and didn't care anymore, and people don't care about the place anymore.
Comfortability, and it's the government and the MPs got comfortable in their position where they didn't see a need to go beyond the basic that they did.
Wow.
And so and you have to understand that anything that you don't keep an upkept, it will eventually be ruined. And there was no upkept. If we look at Englerston is infested to the highest capacity with rodents.
Yep. Oh my Lord.
And of course we do have a garbage problem in Englerston. And I say we because that's where I live, right? And but something can be done. We live, and I'm going to put it out there, we live in the 21st century. There are different devices that are out there that can be used to insert within the community that can get rid of the rodents. It's a matter of research. It's a matter of testing and implementing. But when we have a don't care attitude, or we are comfortable, or we don't feel the need to mother, we don't care, or we don't live in that area. And I'm not knocking anyone, but when you're not feeling what the people feel, then it really doesn't matter to you, right? This is the issue that we have. But the rodents problem that is in Englerston can be solved. I found a solution to it. I'm waiting.
Okay. That sounds good to me. You hang on to that, because I want to see what you're going to get done for the people of Englerston, and I hope that they understand exactly how terrible the situation is and how bad they want it to be finished with. But I wanted to ask you something. You and of course Mrs. Johnson. It seems as if the people of the COI, the executive of the COI, they are furnishing people in the various constituencies with people who have the know-how to get some things done. That's a good thing.
It's a very good thing.
They are furnishing people of the constituencies with people with the know-how to go in there, get involved, not afraid to roll up their sleeve and get in there. I saw Dr. McGyver the other day picking up the garbage down there in the area of the West, where she is residing in herself in out West. She was doing the garbage in Gambia, picking up all the garbage and that kind of stuff. And it was a very, very pleasant picture to see. Here's a pretty lady picking up all this garbage, and she got on her gloves and everything, but they're prepared to go down and get what they're doing done. That's a good thing. I see, again, Freetown. they're doing what they have to do. They're doing some stuff. And see, when you can't minimize the women's role in the area of politics, is what I'm saying. And I think you all are the fresh blood that people need to see right now. Nurturing, getting the families right, getting things right. And I think that's a big ticket in this political race this time around. I mean, it's fine to have pretty girls here and there and that kind of thing, but if you want to be a beauty queen, that's up to you. I mean, go ahead, that's fine. But you see, you need to also have some people who have the know-how, do what they have to do to get the jobs done. And that is what we're talking about, because you need real people on the ground to make this thing happen.
What
are your thoughts?
I think, Steve, the people who have been selected and sits with the Coalition of Independence, we are the people, and if I could say it in that term,
I understand.
Because we have been feeling the effect of government after government, and we are tired. I don't believe that we just stepped. Well, I'm going to speak for me. Yeah. I didn't just step forward and say, "Oh, I want to go and run." Obviously not. I saw where there was no future for my children. I saw where the children around me were suffering. I saw where the senior citizens around me who have worked for so many years are suffering. Yeah. I had a problem with that. Guess what? In having a problem with that, I tried on my own to accord to help in the community. Yes, but helping from this point is not sufficient. Do you understand? And of course, we've elected these governments in so that they can make the best decision for us as a people. And I can say that the government have not been making decisions, have not been putting policies and procedures and legislations in place where the people will benefit. I have a problem with that. And so because now I cannot trust the governments that we have had in back and forth, somebody now got to stand forward. Well, then I trust me.
I trust me too.
That's right. I might as well say it like that. I trust me. Right. And I believe that the leadership in Coalition of Independence trust us as well, because they see that we're not just talkers.
You're doers.
We are doers. You understand? And that is what you're going to need in this hour. And when I say doers, I'm not just talking about doing because, oh, now they're in, so they're doing. I'm talking about we are doers. Go and search up our past. Yep. Search up the past of those who
become well qualified.
Exactly.
To do what you're doing.
And so it's a passion that comes with it. So our leaders don't have to say, well, hey, go and make sure you're in the community with your people. We automatically going to go in the community with our
you're
people.
From those communities. That's the most amazing thing. See, I'm hoping that people will now take another look at this thing and seriously take a look at it, because you've got to find out who these people are, who they're sending to us. And if they're not from your area and they can't represent what you are representing and the key things that you need to have done, you need to send them out to play. You need to find people who are totally within the confines of your area and they're keeping pace with what's happening in your area. When your garbage don't ain't pick up, theirs ain't get picked up.
But then that's a problem, Steve. I got to jump in on that first, because once you're going to talk about the garbage, that's a problem we have in Englerston. And one of the issue is that they have now privatized the garbage disposal collection. And so now when the garbage truck.
Of that from earlier in the year when they were doing that, then they didn't pick up the garbage around here for about three months. And I got on the radio and I did the whole thing, and then they came and they said, "Oh no, we didn't do that. The garbage truck was just break down," and that's what they told me.
But the garbage truck is collecting on one side of the road, and the people on the other side of the road can't put their garbage in that garbage truck. What is that? Well, tell me, what is that? I need somebody to help me with that, because I'm not understanding that in no capacity of the way.
So they only collected certain people garbage.
So certain garbage is being collected, or the garbage truck is only for a certain area. But if you through one corner, Steve, I mean, like my children say, make it make sense.
Yeah.
If you through one corner and the garbage truck is passing through the corner, how are you telling me that oh, it's only for the persons on the left side and not the persons on the right side. I'm not understanding that. So
I have to make a call on that.
So now what we have persons now saying, well, let me pay you. Let me pay the truck, the man in the truck who driving the truck. Let me pay you on the $20 when it's so you can stop and get your garbage.
So that's even further taxes on the people.
We don't have to experience that, Steve.
I know we don't have to.
We don't have to experience that. We don't have to experience anything that we are facing in our little country. And I say little because of the amount of people that we are, but we are a great country. We don't have to experience we don't have to experience the level of health care that we experience in. It's supposed to be free. I can preach today. You open the door. It's supposed to be free. Our healthcare is supposed to be free. Our country can be in a better position. Our education is supposed to be free. You understand? We have persons in our, listen, I've come across some skilled persons in the Englerston constituency. I got some plans for Englerston, Steve. You hear me? We can reclaim our beauty back. We can reclaim our stance back. I've come across some skilled people in Englerston, but because there's no opportunity, or because certain issues when they were a young teenager that they went through, it cost a whole life to stop. Come on, man.
No, you gotta fix that.
Somebody gotta advocate for them.
You gotta look at this whole thing from the perspective of Fort Charlie as well, because I know that we've got our own set of problems down here, and just like all the other areas, they have a tremendous amount of problems that they've got to deal with every day on a daily basis. And I'm sure that I know that you've been hearing people tell you, Mrs. Johnson, about the taxes and all that kind of stuff, and how they've been paying some of the taxes, and how the water bill is so high, how the light bill is so high, and you can't get a break, and every time you turn around, there's another water bill, there's another light bill for you. Well, not water bill, but there's another tax for you. And people cannot handle that. And they don't understand that people cannot handle. This is a serious situation in our country every day where people cannot handle all these taxes. Everywhere you go, there's tax. Food store tax, everything tax.
And tax the water.
Yeah. So how are you dealing with that? Because I know that you go into some homes in your area, Fort Charlie, and they're telling you, boy, this government gonna have to stop this nonsense with this tax, because I know exactly what they tell me. So how are you dealing with that part of it? How are you going to bring relief to those people if in fact they've been taxed overboard?
With that, Steve, like you say, the government don't need to be putting all these taxes on the people. They're taxing the people to death. Literally to death. People are dying in this country from stress. They're dying. What I plan to do is to implement strategies that will help people to create jobs for themselves, not even jobs. I don't even like to hear that word job. Businesses. I cannot sway away from empowerment. The people, once you empower the people will be okay. You cannot tax. Every time the people turn around, tax people. People literally have tears in their eyes talking about the amount of taxes this government is putting on the people.
You think this government has been really, really a bad boy when it comes to taxing people? Because, I mean, this is the worst I've ever seen.
Yes. And it's so sad that a select few in this country, they don't go through what the average Bahamian goes through in this country. I don't know what kind of hearts these people have to hear the cries of Bahamian people, and for it to just go on deaf ears. Like,
you can't get through to them.
It's almost like y'all hate the people. When it comes to the roads, and in Fort Charlotte, the flooding situation, these people have little cars. Their cars stop. They're already stressed out from the amount of taxes you're putting on them. And here it is, the car is gone because
The road's bad.
the MP would not do what he have to do to fix the drainage system in the communities.
Which area, in fact, you're talking about in particular? Because people need to know.
Right here off of well, right near to the MP's office, the corner opposite.
Oh, okay.
Right through there on that T junction.
Mm-hmm.
I go there all the time. It's almost like I live there.
Mm-hmm.
Those people through there have become family. I go there sometime and just sit down and relax. And I have to drive through a lot of water to get there. And there's several other areas right in that community as well that floods.
So we have not fixed the roads. The MP tarred the roads in Fort Charlotte before
Some of them.
Yeah, some of them before he left to go and take up a job with the Department of Immigration and National Insurance. But they never finished the roads. Now, my biggest complaints about the roads in Fort Charlotte is that all these side corners that you see here, and the radio station is in Fort Charlotte.
Right.
32 Gibbs Lane in Fort Charlotte. Let me just show you something. They've not replaced any of the speed bumps through any of these corners. And the people come from Nassau Street, really in, making 1,000 miles an hour, literally, I'm telling you that. And they speed through these side. This corner is only about this big. This big. And let me tell you something. I'm fearful that somebody's going to get knocked. Not another car, but I'm talking about a human being. I've been on the radio for months since the member of parliament paved the roads, which was a very good job. They paved the roads, but they never put back any speed bumps. So Gibbs Lane is a modern highway. Everybody from out west and from Fox Hill comes through Gibbs Lane to make their way to work or whatever. They see this as a shortcut. They don't go on West Bay Street. They don't go on the. They see this as a shortcut. And let me tell you something. The people are speeding on this road so much so that I have a grandson. He cannot go outside. The situation is locked gates. I cannot have him even attempt to go across the road. See, this is bad.
We have that same problem in Englerston.
That's happening all over the place. And I'm saying, you got to be wanting people to get killed because the cars are speeding so fast they cannot even stop. They will hurt themselves.
They are reactive.
We have some bumps that were placed in on Minnie Street and in Robinson Road. They paved the road and then they placed bumps, but they didn't put the marker on the bumps. Right? So you're driving and you can't recognize that they are bumps. So you're seeing cars fly up almost 2-3 feet off the floor because they are speeding through the corners and there's no markers on the bumps.
See, this is how you police the whole situation. If you have the sleeping policeman on the road, if you have the speed bumps in the road, for instance, the people will discipline themselves that I can't go through that. I gotta slow down. They want to avoid the area. Let me tell you how I know this is to be a fact. The road in Fort Charlotte, back to Fort Charlotte, the road in Fort Charlotte, Providence Way, Providence Avenue, down in Fort Charlotte, that has speed bumps on it. That's close to the mine's office.
Yeah.
Hold on now. People don't go that way. They go all the way around by Seafair Aquarium, and they go on the other roads. They don't take New Providence Highway over here in Fort Charlotte. They don't do that. You know why? Because the roads are bumpy and they have to slow down. So that's policing the situation without you even being there. I say, bring that same situation to Gibbs Lane.
I say, bring that same situation to all the corners.
So that the people can stop speeding. Speed kills.
That's right.
I've done everything possible that I can think of. I put the commercial on the radio, speed kills, slow down. Wow. I put commercial on the free. I just did that so that people could understand. But you see, The fellas are mean and interesting. The fellas come through this corner on a Sunday. What? And I want the police who are hearing me today, please come here on Sundays and park your cars on the side of the road and catch these fellas who's doing nonsense. They come through here and they wheelie in. The fella wheelie in so much that his back is touching the pavement on the road. I mean, on the sun, and he's making a million miles an hour. See, these little things, they hurt me. They ache people who are. How you can just phantom these things happening every day, and you know it's happening, and I'm telling you it's happening. Exactly. And I spoke with the people at the Ministry of Works and told them this is happening.
But that's the thing, Steve. That's the issue. The issue that we're having in our country is that when you are reporting these different concerns, no one is looking into them. No one is addressing them. We are having that throughout the entire Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Nothing is being addressed. Well, how long we done been crying here? I hear Miss Johnson talk about the drainage here in Fort Charlotte. What about the drainage down in Ridgeland and Englerston?
Yes,
how long?
I
mean, thing. Jesus, the people in house, they gotta be changing furniture every other month. And the cry is there, right? The cry is there, but it's not being addressed. I mean, it's ridiculous. I was at the Ridgeland Primary School on what it was. I think on Tuesday we were there. It was hail and rain, the storm, mighty God, and the school's drainage isn't even clean. So if we're not if we don't look at these issues, and you know what, I think they look at them as small, mediocre issues, Steve. So they must look at it as small, mediocre issues because they're not going to address them. No one is being sent out. Who is ensuring that those who are supposed to do the work is doing the work? How about that? Who is ensuring that it's being done? And so when there's no accountability, Steve, when there is no accountability, that's when you have chaos. Because guess what? If ain't nobody coming to look over my work or to see that it was done, then I don't have to do the work.
That's right.
I don't know what we're going to do, but it appears that the whole situation is a little backward in our country, especially here in New Providence. And I can't imagine the folk in the areas like Grand Bahama and Apico and Eleuthera. We've got all kinds of problems. I mean, they got a water problem in Eleuthera, electrical problem in Grand Bahama, all kinds of things. These are big fixes, but no one is doing anything about it. And so I suppose we have to just swallow hard and say, well, thank God we still are here. But how we are here, it's a bad situation. But I want to congratulate both you ladies who've been here for the most part talking about some of the things that you have planned to do. And I want to get into some more. I just want to run to the break and play some more commercials. And when we come back, we'll just go and talk about some other valuable things that we want to really touch bases with today and find out exactly how you're going to do what you have to do in Englerston and how you're going to do what you have to do, what you must do in Fort Charlotte to bring about the kind of changes that you'd like to see. All right? So let me just run and pay a bill or so and come back and do what we got to do right here on Hard Copy Live on a Thursday. Hello. Hello. Yes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for being here and being a part of this. Thank you for every Thursday coming on Steve Mckinney Show and hearing from our candidates. We're going to roll them out two at a time so that you can introduce yourselves to them. But of course, call into the show and let them know that you support them Let them know. Ask them questions about what that you want to ask them about their community, their constituency, and about the Bahamas right now. Have a conversation with them. This is your chance to be introduced to all of them. And we're going to be doing this every Thursday. So thank you so much for being a part of this. And we'll get back in a minute. They're on a commercial break. I wanted to address something that happened today, and that is that leadership of the Coalition of Independence went to Cabbage Beach to stand with the people of Cabbage Beach that were on Cabbage Beach, and there's talks that a developer is coming in to try to move them to get access to that right of way that we've been fighting over for years and years, that many of us have been arrested to stop them. That now they have a new scheme, and that new scheme is that they want to offer those people $300 a week. So instead of them making what they can make on that beach, which could be $1,500 a day, $1,500 a week, as entrepreneurs and being free, they want to now enslave them. They want to make them slaves to these hoteliers that come in. And that has some consequences. And we want everyone to understand this. The consequences are dire. That means that you no longer have a right to that right of way because you work for them. So now they will have the right to that right of way. That's one. Two, they can offer to hire you to come and work for them for an extended period, and then they can fire you after a month, after 2 months. They can say, hey, your services are no longer required. All of the stuff on this beach is ours because we gave it to you. And so you have to get lost, and we now have control of this area. And so they're trying to swing the Bahamian people like they always do. And it seems like the PLP, who started this thing, is selling out to them again. And so you would remember first, the PLP actually authorized them to use that right of way, that public right of way, which is the access to Cabbage Beach. Initially, when persons found out what was going on, it was when they put the gate up. When they came to work that morning, there was a gate up, and we went down there and we removed that gate. We had them get rid of that gate because we removed it. We tore it down. We were arrested. I was on bail for 2 years for that. We were arrested for tearing down that gate. And of course, they couldn't put it back up because we started educating the people about what a public right of way is. A public right of way is almost like a road with no name. But you have an access to it. So them putting a gate there was the same as putting up a gate across East Street or Blue Hill Road. It's similar. And so we went there and took it down. And that was under the PLP. And so when the F&M got in, and of course the F&M and PLP work together, they just flam you and swing you. When the F&M got in, they allowed it again. And so the same persons came and closed the same gate. We went back out there again, and not only they closed the gate, they removed all of the people's umbrellas, chairs, everything that belonged to them. They put it outside on the side of the road. They littered. And so we went out there and opened the gate again. We oversaw it. Of course, some of the vendors are the ones that physically took it down. We gave them instructions on what to do. But we opened that gate again and helped them carry all of their stuff back in there. And of course, they carried their stuff back in the gate. And the government realized that, hold on, we look bad now because, and that was the F&M, because we stood up. Minutes came out there the first time with us, and we stood up. Now we're letting these people do this again. So the government had to stand down again. So government changed again. And so now they are trying to do in a different way. So Brave feels like, oh, if we just go let them get it, it's going to be political. Lincoln and them are going to come and fight. They're not afraid to get arrested for this. And so we got to do it a different way. So that's why they came with the Trojan horse and the poison pill, the poison apple, by telling them, hey, come take these couple jobs and we'll allow you to just be there. Okay. And remember, in law, if someone allows you to be there, you are accepting their ownership. So we just want to tell all of our Bahamians who are out there and on that beach, do not accept a job. Let them keep their jobs. Slavery is over. I'm Lincoln Bain. I'm a runaway slave. And I am telling you to stay on this journey of freedom with me. Do not accept their tricks. There's a lot behind it. And I'll do another live and explain this to you properly. I am right now in Florida. That's why I could not be there with my people today. My children live in Tampa area where the storm was coming, and they're the most important thing to me. So I had to jump on a plane and get over there to remove them from that area where there was danger, which is what I did. And I had to ride out the storm in Florida. And so God has been good and protected where I am. And so I'll be right back to continue the fight for the Bahamian people. Of course, there is PLP trolls that are on that beach, and we're fighting for them also. And there was a mishap, a misunderstanding that happened today, and I want everyone to understand that it was a mishap. All right. I'll explain that a little later. I think we're going to soon be coming back to Steve, to Steve's show, and as soon as they turn on the camera, I'll go back to them. But there was a mishap. A lady was walking her blind husband, and she's a hardcore PLP. Everyone knows her. Was walking a blind husband, and she was walking carelessly with him, and she instead of leading him properly, caused him to step on someone's foot. He's blind, so he didn't intentionally do it, but she should have led him properly. And he stepped on someone's foot, and so she kind of moved him off of her foot. Of course, it's a painful experience. And then the lady started to attack and get violent, et cetera, et cetera. And so persons didn't, really, go back at her too much. But that happened, and there should have been, calm heads, and person should have said, it was a mistake. Don't worry about it. Let's let it go. And of course, later, someone claiming to be his daughter, that I know was his daughter, came out there saying she was coming to defend him. I don't think he needed any defense. It was just a mishap, young people, you're in the club, you walk on someone's foot and you get in a fight over that. That makes no sense. And so I think that was a misunderstanding, but we need to stay focused on the real deal. The real situation is that they're trying to take away rights of Bahamian people. Your right to access that beach, their right to use that beach as a right of way to do their business, the tourist rights to use that beach as an access. And so we have to stop selling out to these foreigners. We have to. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back with more. So we'll get back to the commercial break and to the Steve Mckinney Show. But thank you for watching.
Is happening. I mean, we know that area is a low area, and don't you think that the people should have already done the government, whoever, the developers should have done something with that area to rise that area and make sure that you don't lose so many.
Boy, Steve, I right now when I got the house, I was happy, right? You don't have to get your own things, right?
Right.
But I saw you buy it.
You sorry you bought it. You bought it. You got your own house, but you're sorry you bought it. And I can't say it because you know what you buy. So, what are you hoping to see happen in that area? You going to depend on anybody in the government?
All I know, Steve, I want the government to do is help us. Listen, I just bought in my house a couple of months ago. Maybe I know what I mean. Flood again, then I was blind. I couldn't have a daughter. But now I can see. But see, I don't know what that's the double to do with this final economy area, okay? I don't really know what I can't say, Steve.
But you gotta want better. Don't you want better?
Yes, I want better, Steve.
Well, if you want better, how are you just gonna just relax and just say whatever they do? I mean, you've got to make an effort to make sure that these people don't be doing no fool and they taking good care of you.
See, I don't want everybody getting there doing the same thing to us. Better get it. I'm not saying there was two ladies here, but I'm just saying to you, everybody get it, they say what they can do, but they don't do.
Okay. So
you don't feel in this country, Higgins?
Tell me about it.
You don't feel they got their pension to go shop and get groceries?
Tell me about it.
And when you get your pension can be light, water, phone, get food, eat, the food's so expensive, pension gone. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know what they can do, Steve.
Well, what you gonna do? You need to go and change things for people who you've been voting for. That's what you need to do. You need to change them.
Steve.
Yes, ma'am.
You see what they right there? How much time they change the bill in Congress? How much time? Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Steve.
Yes, ma'am.
How much they run the time? What's called the name run the bill in these areas?
Who they are?
One was Officer Maynard. Right? One side. This road. Mr. Remy. You got it?
Yeah. Mr. Rami? Oh, yeah. You talk. Yeah. I remember Mr. Rami. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do that.
Nothing happened for them,
Same party.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Well, listen, I hear what you're saying. Give me a second. And boy, I know that it's not easy. It's not easy being one of those persons who have to vote them in. And good afternoon, caller. How are you? All is well.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want to say something about what the last caller said just now. I don't want to be able to like, make people how a person think, right? I hear a person say, other persons want to get in Parliament just to do the same thing that these two parties are being done. I just want to be this clear. Let me just clear this up for people, right? You only had two parties running this country for the last 51, 52 years. All right, to be clear. It has never been a new party running nothing. It's always been the PLP and the FNM. All right? You can't say, or you shouldn't say, that someone who's never been there or persons who have never been there will get in and do the same thing.
Okay.
And that's fair, right? That's like if I have a business, right, and I fire a cashier for stealing. Should I hire another cashier and call the cashier thief?
No.
No. I should hire another cashier, but be mindful that it's possible that this can happen.
Absolutely.
Give them a fair chance to prove themselves.
Absolutely.
Right?
You're right about that.
So yeah, I just want to say that, it's time for us to
You can't judge a book by the cover. You just gotta give people a chance, and you can't say, well, all of them like that. They don't all do the same thing to me. But you've got to understand the woman's right. The woman has been there for 32 years. She built a house in that place, and she's not gotten a good deal from nobody. And the whole thing, she's discouraged. And that's what discouraged people sound like, that they sound that way because she's absolutely discouraged. And you got to understand that too. So put all that in the mix. And hopefully you can say to her, well, give some other people a chance, and maybe they won't do this nonsense to you, what the others have done to you. But you got to give yourself a chance by giving them a chance as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's it.
I got you.
Right. But she must be mindful that there's only been two parties doing this thing.
Yeah.
So you want better, you have to do better.
Absolutely.
They say if you keep doing the same thing, expect a different result is insanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you keep putting the PLP back there, you keep putting the FNM back there, and you keep getting the same result, what you expect,
I appreciate your call.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. I got you. And that's how it is. I mean, he's right. You got to give other people a chance. See, if something don't work for you, and it don't work for you again, and then you give another chance, and it don't work for you again, now, time for you to do something. You got to fire them. They ain't waking up for you, buddy. Fire them, start again. Start all over again. And that's all this thing is, That's it. This is the science of it.
Right.
You start over again because these other guys have not worked with you and they have not benefited you in any which way. The woman talked about the price high, people can't afford grocery. That's the same old story. No matter what you do in this country right now, I got the same problem here. I want to do other talk shows, talk about other things, right? And I'm telling you, people say, Steve, man, the people, they ain't got no food. They won't let me go anywhere else because this is a crisis. It's a crisis. And we've got to deal with the crisis. And I'm hoping that COI will deal with this crisis. It ain't your fault, but you can come in and aid the people, fix the thing, show them just how we're going to try to get these things done for you to be a benefit of what we are trying to get done. And talking about that, what is it that you're trying to get done? Do you want the people to be a benefit to what you're dealing with in the COI these days? And tell me how. How's that going to happen? Go ahead, Ms. Percentie.
Well, one of the things that I love about the COI and that we are pushing, and we say, of course, the ideology of the COI is that we believe that the Bahamian people should benefit in every area, especially from our natural resources. And of course, these are means that are there, that are in place, our carbon credits, all of these things are there, where we know that if it is put in place and structured by the right people, and I gotta say it like that, the right people who will ensure that the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas benefit, then we will see the rise of our, like I say, the new Bahamas. And that's what we are looking for. We are looking for our people to benefit. Man, you got to benefit in some portion of the way, right?
Yeah, no question about it.
So if you ain't got no food, you can't find no place to live, you can't get no job, you can't open up a business. What's happening? What's happening in our country? What is being put in place that our people can say, okay, well, I didn't benefit from this portion, but I benefited from this portion. The Coalition of Independence is saying that when we come in, we're coming in to ensure that the people benefit from what belongs to the people in this country.
Do you feel the same way, Madam?
I feel the
Johnson?
very same way. This is a rich country. This is a rich country. This God gave us this jewel of the sea. Why do we have people in this country crying every day over the cost of living in this country? When the COI takes the government, when we get into the House, and we will get in there, we are going to ensure that every Bahamian benefit from their natural resources. Why do we have to borrow, and then the expense from what you borrow falls on the back, not on the back of them that borrows, but the back of us.
IMF.
Everywhere
IDB,
you go,
Monetary Fund.
yeah. And now that you borrowed the money, we are the slaves to the lenders. The people crying, and you're living life.
I ain't getting none of that money.
We're gonna ensure that you benefit from your natural resources.
Let me challenge you. They're saying that there's no natural resources. Just go with me for a second. We know better. We did the research. We know there's natural resources. We know all kinds of things happening here. We know the aragonite, the carbon credits, so all kinds of things that bring about natural resources in this country. We know about it. They can't fool us with that no more. That's a bygone era that they were talking about. Perry Christie and them talking about that's nonsense. They know it. And we know
ministry, there it is.
The point what I'm making is that now that we know that, how do we tap into what we're going to get done and get the things, the products and stuff made for us in the Bahamas, or bring in the professionals who can get this thing happening to make it happen for us in the Bahamas? Because the Bahamian people really do believe that we have natural resources. And we've been saying all along, the abundance of the sea, all those things that happens in our country, fine sand. I mean, we just talked about it yesterday on the show what I did with the Nickel and Seymour. We have it all right here. God has blessed us abundantly. We have more than we need. We have things that we can give away and all. But for some reason, we are not into it because we're too lazy, or the leaders are just hoggish and taking everything for themselves. You see? And so I'm saying, what are we going to do? I want you to hang on to that. What are we going to do? How are you going to help us to define this whole matter of the natural resources we do have, and how we're going to further develop that in the future. Hold on for a second. Hard copy, how are you?
Good evening, Steve. How are you today?
Very good, thanks. How are you today?
Good. Good evening, guests.
Good evening. Good evening, caller.
This question is for you both. After all the negativity, all the rah-rah about the COI, what inspired you both to represent the COI? Why?
Good question.
You want to go first?
Well, well, when it comes to me, I ran during the last general election with the Coalition of Independence. So running with the Coalition of Independence for me this time isn't new. And I ran for the same area, which is the Englerston constituency. Okay. What pushed me to run with the Coalition of Independence? Two reasons. One, because I looked at Vision 2025. I looked at what was the plan that they had pushed out in reference to the Commonwealth of Bahamas. And I saw where this was vision that was possible, one. And two, of course, again, I take this not as a task, I take it as an assignment. So for me, I'm on an assignment given by God to ensure that our people come up out of Egypt. And so, yes, that's the reason why I am of independence. I believe that the leadership is a good leadership, and I believe that this is the team that will bring our people out of Egypt and into the promised land.
And
Madam?
yes, and to answer your question, caller, before coming over to the COI, I was a part. I didn't run it. I was a part of the DNA.
Okay.
I was their provisional candidate for Englerston.
Oh,
so I have done some groundwork in Englerston
I see.
as well. And I saw Mr. Bean, and I also followed his lives, the Vision 2025 that he put out there. And I would like to encourage Bahamians to watch it. And like he said, host watch parties. And I was like, you know what? This ship looked like it's going down, and we all know that ship has sailed. And so before it sailed, I jumped off and I went on over to the COI. And, you know, the leadership of the COI is as passionate as I am to ensure that Bahamians live a good, decent life like everyone else is living in this country. Okay, so empowerment and wanting to take our Bahamas to another level is my reason for being a part of this great organization.
Are you both prepared for the adversity and the lies? And then, matter of fact, I understand they come and offer you a couple of dollars. Are you that strong to withstand the lies of the devil?
That's a good question, madam. That's a good question.
Well, I can say this: the devil don't like me, and I don't like the devil. And so, most certainly, I'm not in this for what you can gain. I want the masses to be able to reap the benefit. And I understand where you're coming from, caller, because temptation is out there. The adversary is out there and want to sway us off. But for me, I'm focused. I'm focused on what the assignment is. And furthermore, I'm an open book. Everything about me is an open book. There are no skeletons in my closet because I live that type of life. And so whatever they come in for me with, they can make up something. And the only thing I do is call on the name of Jesus and continue on my assignment.
And to answer your question, caller, I would say that the truth will always outlive a lie. So we can't be sidetracked on what the naysayers are saying and I call them the one-track mind people are saying. We have to move forward. We have a country to save. You understand? You could say what you want to say. If you find out something and I did it or I didn't do it, I'm going to own up to that. But other than that, I have to move forward. I have a country to
So that's the
save.
spirit. That's the spirit.
Yeah, the bigger fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, God bless you both, and I hope you all, not hope, I know you all gonna win.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Carla.
All the
Thank
best.
you.
Fantastic. You know, what's actually happening here is that people have their minds set
Yeah.
on what they want to see happen.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else happens in this country, the good thing is knowing that there's a group
Mm-hmm.
of persons out there who want to see change.
Yeah.
And that alone is a big encouragement, you know, because at first we were so stuck on this two-party system that we didn't see how we can get out of this jam. But now that there's a group, at least there's a group out there who are saying that, and it looks very, very serious, because we now know that there's a group. We now see they have plans.
Another option.
It's not just a group; it's a group with a plan. They have plans. That's what they want to do. They have the natural resource plan. They have all those things in a row. They know what they're doing. They want to do these things the way that they want to do it, right? But the people themselves have to let go in their mind and they say, you know, we've got to go along with the program, or we've got to at least look at what these fellas are saying. What is it that you're bringing? And that's the big story now. When they ask, what are you bringing? You just can't just say, we got natural resources. You got to bring the whole kit and caboodle and say, this is what we are putting on the table. Here, this is what you should be eating from. This is how it's going to happen. Are there plans like that right now that you have in your mind that you can start to exchange with the people of the Bahamas?
Most certainly. From the standpoint of the Coalition of Independence, of course, we know that we have set plans in place waiting to execute them from day one. And of course, if persons have been watching the lives of our leader, Lincoln Bain, and even our deputy leader now, who has been putting out our chairman. So I believe that persons know and understand the strategy and what is in place, so that when we get in power, what we will do from the first day for the first 100 days. We have an outline for that as well. Of course, for Englerston constituency, I have several plans because, you know, like you said earlier, Steve, Englerston, the state that Englerston is in, for me, we need to arise out of what we're in.
Yes.
And one of the major issues, of course, alongside so many others, but right now we have a rodent problem, right? We have a serious rodent problem in Englerston, and of course, maybe in other constituencies, but I'm speaking to the constituency that I'm running for.
Yes.
We have a rodent problem. And of course, I have found what would be the solution for that rodent problem. I think the issue is when we talk about the problems, we don't speak to the solution. We don't speak to the solution to the problem. Now, I can give out the solution to the problem today for the rodents because, in my opinion, they got the money to go put it in place. So let me tell them so they can go and put it in place, because it ain't no about us just getting in power, right? We want to see the beaming people. Yeah. So listen, we are in the 21st century. All right. We have now what they call the rodent repellent, and it's a sound wave that is sent out in the airwaves. You know, we remember when we were children, they have a particular whistle when you blow it. For the dogs, they'll hear it, but the human can't hear it. Okay, so then there's a particular sound wave. It's called the repellent sound wave that the rodents, the ants, the roach, the rats, all of those animals, those insects and so forth, they hear that. Right. We can now take that device, and those devices, you have them where they're set where you can place them in your home, or you can place them on the outside around your premises. So we can place those devices. Go ahead and purchase those devices. Look them up. You can place those devices throughout the Englerston constituency. And of course, other constituencies can use this as well. Place it throughout the Englerston constituency. Give it about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Give it about 2 weeks.
You won't see them.
Give it about 2 weeks. I've already tested it on a small scale. I'm 100% sure that it works. So why can't it work if we implement it on a large scale?
Okay, I hear what you're saying. Now, you know, I got all kind of names that are going in my mind. I didn't call her mama, and now I call her the scientist. Now, listen, we on a mission. That's what they're saying. And what she's saying is going to be developed even more, and we will give you some more information on it. Good afternoon, Godfrey. How are you? Jeffrey, how are you?
Good afternoon, Steve. Good afternoon,
Peace.
Coalition of Independence representatives.
Good afternoon.
I'm sitting here and I'm listening very attentively to what you're discussing on this program today. It is great to hear that one of the persons in your studio is a former DNA member.
You know, the funniest thing, I thought I was going to hear from you when I said when she said that. You know, I thought of you.
Because that is one of the words that is what tickled my ears almost instantly. Because Steve, let me be extreme and straightforward in my commentary right now. To hear someone who was a former prospective candidate for the Democratic National Alliance having crossed over and also put side by side the criteria of what the Coalition of Independence actually addresses on a daily basis. I can see the correlation easily between the aspects that the Democratic National Alliance wanted to attack in terms of nation building, and also those tenets that the Coalition of Independence is also speaking to. But the big thing for me here is that we're talking about bringing stability and bringing a level playing field for all Canadians in this country. And it is so unfortunate that, and I say this quite deliberately, it is so unfortunate that the oldest political party in this country, which was started upon the aspects of wiping the tear from every Bahamian act, looking forward to bringing the best that the country has to offer for all Bahamians to benefit and to prosper in this country. And they has failed miserably.
Very
3
true.
years in with this current administration. And the average Bahamian in this country right now, I'm saying this thing with a heavy heart, but also understanding the dynamics of how people in this country take politics and really treat people when they compete in party that was supposedly so much for the people, and have failed miserably in bringing that level of relief that we envision that they spoke to, that they would bring to the people, but yet today the people still continue to be denigrated in this country because of their political choices, denigrated because they critique the current government and their policies that they pass that has not in no way, shape, or form benefited the average Bahamian in this country.
But all that could possibly change now, my brother. All that could possibly change because you got a COI there, and these guys seem to be gaining ground, whether they like it or not. A lot of people won't believe it, but they are gaining ground. All around this country, they're gaining ground.
And Steve, I can agree with you to a large extent with that. I mean, there's still some things that I would like to see the Coalition of Independence actually put forward to the Bahamian people.
Right.
To really get them to understand what really is the real mission of the Coalition of Independence. But let me say this while it comes fresh on my mind. You know, it is so sad that so far what the COI really espouses for the benefit of the Bahamian people. Yeah, I can see that they've never been in government before. They have some really great ideas on how to push this country forward, and there are some things that
can
Understood.
touch it.
Understood.
Touch it. Not just hear it, but touch it. And likewise, we understand that there are still those that no matter what you do, no matter what you present, they are so polarized to their particular political party. Despite the shenanigans that the parties are doing, they will not change because
absolutely not.
They claim they were born that and they would die that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, I believe that if we are able, and I'm saying we now, because I am a nation, I do consider myself a nation builder. I do consider myself as being one of those persons when it comes down to God and country. I will fight and die for this country. I do stand on those principles. I do stand on the principle of integrity, which a lot of our politicians today, sadly to say in our parliament, seems to lack. But I'm going to end with this note. The Coalition of Independence, the DNA has done very well in this country as a third force. We did quite well in the time frame that we had. The Coalition of Independence now is on the periphery. They are now getting the traction that is needed. You guys need to reach out to all of those persons, like I said, despite of party affiliations, despite of the love for the political parties. I believe that if you reach out across the board and recognize that this Muhammad is not going to go forward with just the ideals of the Coalition of Independence, but for every right-thinking, rational behavior that cares about God and country, reach out to the rest of us. Let's have that conversation around the table, because I can tell you, there's no way this country can continue on the pathway that we are right now, and we expect our country to succeed and be prosperous going forward 2026 and beyond. We have to fix this problem now. We got to get everybody around the table regardless, and let's have that conversation on how we're going to build the new Bahamas going forward as a people.
Well said. Well said. Well said. We got other calls on the line. Yes. Good afternoon, caller. How are you? Good afternoon, caller. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, caller. Slow.
Flesh.
Okay.
And what I would like to encourage my Bahamian people, young and old, that are eligible to vote, please, I come to you. Go get your voter's card if you haven't got it yet, and vote. But don't vote for the P, no, the FNL. Vote for change in this upcoming general election. Because, let me say this to you, Bahamians in general, if you don't do it this time, get it right this time, we might not have another time. So you better do it now. Do it the right way this time. Because we have learned over the years, decades, that these two major parties, they are not interested in the Bahamian people. As long as they can get their way and get their pockets greased and full, they ain't checking for us. So we better put new faces, all new faces, in that House of Assembly. And Bahamians, let me put that out there. Bahamians, we need a Bahamian party in Parliament as of this next election. Pure Bahamian blood, not foreign, because they don't know our country. So let's vote right this upcoming election.
Appreciate your call.
And that will make me a proud man before I leave this place. I want to see new stuff in there right now.
I got you, sir. All the best.
So, I would end that right there. I want to put that out
I think you made your voice very, very clear today. You put it
yes,
succinctly today.
Encourage those young people, because the young people are angry, they're fed up, because they don't know what to do. But we as the older ones need to encourage them to go and do the right thing. Just vote.
Thank you.
And vote right. Steve, enjoy the rest of your evening, and to your guests also.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
All right. No problems at all. Say, do the right thing. Anybody wants to do the right thing?
And we
do
hope
the right thing in this
they do the right
this
thing.
season. But you know what? Even what the caller was saying, I agree with him. I'm encouraging persons to go and register to vote, and it's so important for you to take this opportunity to register to vote, because of, even though we are we looking for it to be in 2026, but who knows? If it happens before then, you want to be in a ready position. You want to be in a ready position. And you know what? Of course, to those young ones who have come out of school, you just turned 18. Don't wait to go and get your voter's card. Don't wait to go and get your voter's card.
How are you appealing to the people who are away in school, those people who want to see change in the country? A lot of them have been calling. They're saying that they want to see change. A lot of international calls always call the show. And their whole thing is that, y'all didn't get this thing sorted out yet. They want to see improvements made along the lines of who are the ones in power today. They want to see some changes be made, but they're not seeing that yet. So that is an encouraging thing for Lincoln Bain and his group to make sure that they are going to show signs of how this improvement, how this encouragement is going to happen, so that the people who are away can come home and join into this flow of making sure that this country is going to offer them the kind of position that they want to have happen too in this country, just by the fact that they can come home and work. A lot of them want to come home and work. They want to be here and work. They don't want to be in the States. They want to come home and work.
That's the thing.
But a lot of things
get
just
the
not
jobs.
Yeah, but you mentioned earlier about the vision that the Coalition of Independence had, 2025 vision, and how we want to ensure that we have the right people with the skill set to implement those outlines. But guess what? We have so many trained professionals all around the world. They are waiting for the Coalition of Independence to win the next general election, so that they can come home and be a part of the development of our country. Because they're skilled in it. And there's no reason why they cannot play a part, but simply because the present government chooses not to put things in place that calls our people back home. And so I believe the encouragement for the younger generation, this generation of persons, they are listening now. They are listening to the airwaves. We are in the tech age. We are in the social media age. So and that's why I'm happy that the coalition, we flood the social media platforms. Why? Because this generation is the social media generation.
That's another reason why you all should not do that at all, because you're talking it to the people every day.
Very much.
Every time you turn around, you see things on Lincoln Bain, you see things on McGyver, you think things on Charlotte. All these people are just making a contribution where it counts. And that's what people are reading these days. But
more to come.
Yes, most certainly more to come.
A lot more to come.
Most certainly. And two, of course, like I said, more of our young persons are into the social media. And so, of course, the social media platform is what will get the message out there to our young generation.
And you're looking at people like around the age of 23 or 21 to say 30,
Yes.
35
Yes.
years old, that kind of thing.
Going up to about 40, 45 as well.
Yes. Yeah.
40, 45 as well generation, because they're now, they understand that, okay, well, they want to learn more about Facebook and the Twitter and the Instagram and so forth. And so, of course, we're utilizing those platforms to get the message out to the young people, even if it's only a little snippet, because a little snippet can give the information that is needed to prick someone and say, hold on, wait, I think I need to go and register to vote.
Yeah.
And so we're using those platforms, and we're going to continue to use those platforms and any other platform that is open to us.
So, Mrs. Johnson, what else do you have to tell us today from the area of Fort Charlotte that is enlightening news to us, especially those of us who are over 60? What's happening for the people in Fort Charlotte? Are they getting the kind of things that they need to see happen right now, other than the old age pension, that kind of stuff? Are you seeing some improvements, or will you be bringing some improvements in other areas that the older folk who have grown in the area and who have made their contributions to this area, can they look forward to some things that will be special, a special bundle that will be coming from the COI?
Yes. As I canvass the constituency of Fort Charlotte, for the elderly, we could be doing more, because this constituency is how old, Steve? Fort Charlotte is
Fort Charlotte's always been here.
Yeah,
we've been around
because
from that time.
Because we
Fort
still
Charlotte's
have
always been here.
we still have people and still using outer toilets in this constituency. Even elderly people have to leave their dwelling place to go outside to a building that's not even the best to relieve themselves. 51 years later, we still have people doing that.
Still have the people using all the pumps.
And the water pumps, the outer pumps,
Yeah.
And when it comes to the elderly, I want to do more. I want to build like a center for the elderly, a home, somewhere they can go and spend a day or even stay, because a lot of the elderly in this constituency, they are being forsaken. I'm hearing it all on the ground. The complaints, and while we're speaking about the elderly, let me just talk about some of the complaints that are coming from them, especially in the Rock Crusher area. They have a situation with gunshots being fired every single night, motorbikes riding up and that. You asked me about the elderly. These are the things coming from the elderly. So this is something that I have to fix for them. You have to make it comfortable for them. So building a center for them, for the elderly of Fort Charlotte, is a way to get them out of their homes, away from the chaos. Somewhere where they can enjoy with their peers, persons with same age, and just live out the rest of their lives, peacefully.
What about events and social
at the center? At the center.
No, I'm not just talking about the social at the center. I'm talking about other events. We've got a whole place here called Fort Charlotte. And we used to once upon a time go up there and do things all the time. From jogging to exercising to all kinds of things, to even having your little further sale, that kind of stuff. These things have been discouraged by this particular government and by the previous government. It's been discouraged. People cannot even go and do those kinds of things anymore. In fact, there was a time when I went to the fort just to have lunch, just right from my office to have lunch.
Really? Okay.
And the fella asked me where I going. I said,
the security, right?
Yeah. I'm going right here. He said, what you going there for? I said, that's where I can eat my lunch. Because I was like, you gotta be crazy. You asking where I going. I said, that's why I'm gonna eat my lunch. He said, yeah. He said, but you gotta pay. I said, pay what? I said, my boy, listen here. I said, you don't know me. You don't know who I am. You don't even know what I bring to you. I've been living in this area all my life.
Exactly.
You come here talking about pay for what? I said, I'm not paying to go anywhere. This is to go through the air on top of the fort. See, what he meant I had to pay to go to the fort, to the actual fort, to see the fort.
Inside, yeah.
But he didn't make that clear. So when he got that when he got that to me and I understood what he said, I said, oh, you mean to go to the fort? I said, I'm not going there. I'm going to eat my lunch. He said, oh, okay. But you see, the whole thing with them going to the fort, you cannot just go there and do things anymore. They're not stopping you from doing it, but you've got to be almost pushy.
Yeah.
This just happened 2 weeks ago,
Really?
Yeah, I'm here living in this area all my life.
Was he aggressive? Because
No,
I know of aggressive.
He wasn't aggressive, but his attitude wasn't right. You see?
Yeah, I've encountered one.
The point what I'm making is that the first thing is this is what I know. You can't charge me to go to no fort, not me.
No.
You can't charge anyone from Fort Charlotte to go to no fort, not them. And they have this rule that they have. They don't even work in Fort Charlotte. They don't even know when it's Fort Charlotte. And I'm talking about right now.
Who has implemented the rule?
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is the antiquities
They
people.
only,
I believe that the antiquities people entered that rule.
Yeah.
But you see, I'm just showing you a point. The point is we used to go there and do these kinds of things a long time ago, and it should still be a part of what we are doing every day. If those people want to go and do it.
Exactly.
But now you don't have any place to go. And that's why I'm saying you got to do more than just the community center. You've got to bring activity back to Fort Charlotte to make sure that people are enjoying themselves because it's our fort.
Right. I agree.
You follow?
Yes, sir.
And we need to take ownership of our fort.
And we will.
So I'm hoping that you got plans for the fort as well.
Yes. Yes.
All right. 7 o'clock on the button. I just have to get that stuff. You understand this?
Yes.
Maria. You understand what I'm saying?
Maria.
That's fine. That's fine.
Englerston has been in the house with me today. And of course, her name is Faith Maria Percentie in Englerston. She wants to represent Englerston. She's been there before, and she wants to go there in Parliament. She's asking you to consider her so that she can bring real representation to Englerston. Then, of course, I've been talking to today with Mrs. Daphney Ingrid Johnson. She wants to represent the people of Fort Charlotte. She seems to be okay to me. I like her. I think that she's going to be a good person to have in the mix. We need some women there in the mix. And sometimes we've got to just make a mad dash for some things to get the kind of things that we want to have happen and make sure that we're going to be okay. Because the future belongs to us and our children. All of my children you see here, they live in Fort Charlotte. All of them. You know what I mean? We got some say in the matter. All of them. And that means then that who comes going to have to come tough. Who comes going to have to be real from the point of view that you come to do something. You come to bring something for the people. You come to make sure people are happy. You come to, they ain't want all no fridge and stove. We got them things. Please. That ain't what we want. We want to see true representation in an area that is a beautiful place to be called Fort Charlotte. All the tourists from all over the place come here every day. Stop in the farm, stop in the yard, looking at the trees, everything. They know what life is supposed to be like. They love this kind of thing. They see the chicken on the thing crowing, laying eggs. You understand what I'm saying? that's real development. That's what we are supposed to be known for. And you can have people telling others you can't do this, you can't do that.
Not in Englerston.
Let's get this thing right, man. We've got to make this thing happen. I wish you both the best of luck. I seriously mean that. Mrs. Percentie, I think that you mean well for the people. You bring the spirit of a good attitude, spirit of a big mama, spirit of a scientist, talking about that whole thing about the rats, the infestation of rats and all that kind of stuff. It's germsy and nasty. We can't have that.
No.
You got to fix that area.
Most certainly.
Try your best. Just try your best. Ask the people to assist you in helping to bring this kind of thing to fruition. That whole thing you're talking about, the sound wave thing,
Yes.
Get that happening.
Yes.
Get it happening. You see? And that's how you're going to show people that you mean what you say what you mean. And if they see you doing that effort, hey, I believe that they'll assist you and support you. That's the kind of thing you've got to get done. Little things mean a lot. Remember that.
That's right.
All right. So I thank you both for coming here today on the show.
Thank you for
And
having us.
I wish you the very, very best of luck. Okay?
Thank you.
Fantastic. That's our show for today here on this Thursday. The day is the October 10th, 2024. And we'll see you tomorrow when we come back to the show. I think tomorrow we have on the young man from the Prime Minister's office. At least he's tentatively set for tomorrow for the show at 5 o'clock, so we'll see how that happens. And we've rescheduled him for tomorrow. We'll see exactly how it goes tomorrow here on the show. That's the Trey Remy. He's going to be here tomorrow on the show. So that means that the gentleman, Bernard Young, and Mark Clare will have a day off tomorrow, but we'll see them on Monday or so, okay? Goodbye for now. We'll see you when we do.
Let's continue to do what we do in Englerston. Listen, we're going to need some sponsors so we can implement those raps. I look forward to hearing from you. God bless.